Welcome to the Boxhead Boys show. We are here with Kendall Edwards, player at NC State, played at Atlanta United. Thank you for coming on. Also, before we get into that, first pod for Justin Robinson. So give him a round of applause. Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here. I'm looking to be here a lot now. Starting up, and it's great to talk to Kendall. It's the first person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
A long time. So yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, me too. I mean, I love podcasts, so I really appreciate this. I listen to podcasts literally every day. So this is cool. This is cool for me for sure.
Well, let's just get right into it with the hot takes. Kendall, we were already talking a little before, but he sounded like he got one, so I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah, I actually have two.
Okay.
So I listened to some of those episodes, and I heard that you guys do hot takes. I was like, I gotta have something prepared.
Mhm.
Okay. So with college football, we're starting back this weekend, I guess, and then continuing next weekend. My hot take, my first one at least, is I don't think that the college football playoff expansion is going to be good for college football. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you guys want to, I mean, I have reasons I can elaborate on that, but
Yeah, elaborate. I want to hear it.
So, I mean, I'm sure Chris knows because Chris is a big Clemson fan, so he's used to lots of success, right? But I think we've had 7 since 2014, yeah, like 7 college football playoff finals. And I would say only 3 of them have actually been like competitive.
Yeah.
That is very
like last year's Ohio State, Alabama. That game was over. That game was terrible.
It was over before it
started. Exactly. It was over before it started. It was over at halftime. And that's supposed to be right. Like these are supposed to be the top 4 teams in the country. And like how many times do we see blowouts? Like, Notre Dame never gets close to anyone, right?
Yeah.
I know Clemson had a big blow of Alabama a couple years ago. I'm sure you remember that. Like a lot of these games aren't that good for Final 4 games. So if we expand it, can you imagine Alabama playing like a BYU? They would destroy them. It could be like 7.
Yeah. I actually really agree. I was always the one that was going for the playoff just because I like that there's more games type stuff and like it seems more fair. But now that you're saying it like that, it's like these top schools, like they're just gonna destroy them. Like it's bad.
Well, I will say though, I do think that like it's good for college football, obviously, because like for example, like I go to NC State, if we put together a good year, we might get in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's great for the NCAA because more games means more money, more TV stuff, right? But like, I think the problem is it's going to show the discrepancy in the recruiting, the talent between, because I mean, like, I can't imagine an Alabama versus, who was number 8 in the country last year? I don't know, but like, remember when UCF was trying to get through it? Yeah, like I know it would have been a great story and it would have been great for that school, but I don't know, man.
Some of these gotten destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you on that. I really don't like the playoff. I've always thought it was better just because NCAA and there's more games and stuff. But I always thought like all these games have been blowouts. Like other than I'm trying to think of the one championship that it was one Clemson Alabama one that literally went to the last second. That's the last game that really was really good the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That one and then the Bama Georgia one was pretty good.
Oh no, that was good. That one was really good. Yeah, but other than that, I can't think of any other games that were like significant and like all of them just got kind of blown out. So yeah, seeing it like that, yeah, I don't like the playoff. I don't like it.
I think 4 is perfect though. I think 4 is perfect.
Yeah.
And like with Texas and Oklahoma now being in the SEC, I think it might just become an SEC playoff thing.
Yeah. That's what I think it's just going to be it's only going to be like 2 big conferences coming up. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because the ACC and Big Ten and Pac-12 just signed all together, and now the SEC is picking the 2 best teams in the Big 12. I mean, like it's kind of over. So
really, just the SEC, and then maybe 1 or 2 teams from
every year.
And the thing about Texas too, like even though they haven't been good for a while, that's a big program. And now being in the SEC, like that's a big pull for recruiting.
Yeah.
I think in a few years they'll be, just as big as they should be at least.
The biggest thing for Oklahoma, they were not getting defensive big like SEC recruits and stuff. Now defensively, they're just gonna get them. Now, like I don't know who's gonna stop Oklahoma. Now they're actually getting like the big. They always get offense. They usually don't get those defensive studs. They're gonna start getting them like left and right. So we're gonna see for real.
Awesome. Awesome.
I do have a second one.
Okay, yeah. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Okay, and this one I think will be good too. So it's about the NBA, and it had kind of similar ties to what we were just talking about. But I think that players changing teams and all that blah blah blah. I actually think it's a really good thing for the NBA. I know people get mad about like for example us in Atlanta, like we have Trae Young now. If he were to leave us in 3 years, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be mad too. Because like imagine if you were a Rockets fan, right? Like just 2 years ago, they were almost beat one of the best teams in the Warriors, right? And then now they're a lottery team. But I don't think it's bad for the NBA, only because I think it helps more teams, I guess, have a chance of being good. Like look at the Raptors. Raptors literally won a championship a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now, right, the Lakers are, I guess, good again. Look at the Phoenix Suns. Like, who would have thought 5 years ago the Phoenix Suns would be in the NBA final? And I think, as players progress, as the years progress, like, there's going to be more and more markets, more and more teams that have a chance to, I guess, shine, right? So I actually don't think it's bad. I know it can be annoying, especially when it's your team, it's your player. But I think it's a good thing for the NBA, and just in terms of, like, more teams being good, basically.
I agree with that. I used to think super teams were terrible, like maybe like 5 or like 7 years ago. I used to like hate super teams, but now like the NBA is so level that like you gotta like recruit your guys. Like you gotta build a team to like beat the other ones because that's what everyone's doing now. Yeah. I don't see a problem with building a roster. That's just my thing. I don't see a problem with that.
For me, like coming as like a neutral, because I didn't used to always watch the NBA like that, but past 2 years I've just been like, it's something that I want to watch because it's exciting. So in terms of coming from that perspective, I think that's a good take as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, super teams, right? Like everyone, the importance, like if you're, I mean, let's take James Harden, right? Like if you're James Harden, we know what he's done. Like he's done like almost everything. Like, we get he's a great player, but like how people take rings, for example, like if you don't have a ring, if you don't have a trophy, like you're never, that's always going to be with it. Like what do they always talk about with Charles Barkley, right? It's always you didn't have a ring, right? And that's just going to be with him for the rest of his life. Even though like this guy was like amazing, like one of the top 3 power forwards of all time, right? But that's the only thing that people like. The first thing everyone talks about. Oh, he didn't have rings, blah, 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 right? And then what's the argument with Jordan and Bron? It's always rings. So if I'm James Harden, like, I need to get me a ring because, yeah, I'm a great player, but, like, how are they going to remember me in 5 years? So I get, like, the frustrations with, like, I mean, what Kevin Durant did was, I guess maybe the most egregious of sins. But, like, for the most part, I mean, I think every team has about, 2 really good guys. I think the Nets are really the only team that has, like, 3 real, like, Hall of Famers. And maybe the Lakers, too. But I don't think it's a bad thing.
I mean, I agree, too. Some great takes. Great
I guess they're not hot. If they're not hot, then I guess because everyone's agreeing with them. So
no, but, like, but it's something that, like, maybe, like, before, if I'm thinking of it a different way, like, I probably wouldn't have agreed because like I'm on Twitter a lot. I see all the like about the super teams and I'm like, okay, and I agree with that. But
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what happens. That's what Twitter like has created though. Like it's shit. If you don't have these rings, like, are you really that good, right? That's what the argument's always gonna be. So look how Giannis's legacy is gonna change now because he has his ring.
He's got a crazy resume now. Like it's actually unreal just because of one ring.
And all right, Chris, you want to do your take?
Oh yeah. Mine was gonna be college football, but I'm not gonna go into that now. Oh, I'll go music, I guess. I'll go music. I'm gonna have to say Donda was good. Wish I never listened to a single listening party. Just not even one of them. That's just my thing.
Okay. I kind of felt opposite this morning. I woke up And I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay, he finally released it. And I'm like, obviously, like I'm sure did you go to one of the listening parties, by the way?
No, I wish.
No, one of our best friends did, and I mean we were watching it, but like it was right over here, so.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was right here for us. But no, I mean I'm actually happy I listened to it because like I don't know, it was different. Like I've never had like or been experienced like an album released that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Where you kind of heard the album 2 times, 3 times before it actually released.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it was good. Got Cardi on there twice.
I loved it.
Yeah, I know. I love Baby Keem. I've really been into him for a couple of years now. So seeing him on there and then now having that song with Kendrick, I'm really happy.
Yeah, he's about to blow up. Like,
like he might have had the craziest like weekend ever. Like Kendrick Lamar and Kanye. That's the craziest little stash. That's crazy. Keem's crazy. Like he's just too good. Like, man.
All right.
That'd be my hot take, guaranteed. Just
okay.
I love Donda though, but like, it's just I wish like people with fresh ears. I just feel like the album would be like magical. I don't even know.
For me, I think he did too many listening parties. I think that he should have done one or maybe 1 or 2. But the third one was just kind of like the third one to me was weird. Like and like the way like the album was just like changed. I guess it added to the mystery, I guess. So
yeah, I just think the third one he's kind of just trying to throw people off. Like he literally had none of the verses, shortened everything. Like, weird. But that's just how that
I didn't hear the third one because at that point I was just like a little annoyed, like
I didn't really watch the third one, but I've seen all the things on Twitter that was going on.
I just watched the highlights and I was just like, what in the world is this? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll do my hot take. I'm gonna go into soccer. We'll start it off with the Ronaldo transfer.
Summer, huh?
Yeah, it's a crazy summer. I honestly, as good as this of transfer of this is for Manchester United, I really don't like Man United's chances of winning the league at all. Like, I thought it was going to be a little bit closer between the top 4, like really close, really good title race. I just don't think that United can do it because of their midfield, and that's my hot take. I just don't know if that sign. I know it's going to give them more goals, and it's a great signing, but I just do not know if they can compete like that.
I honestly, it's funny because like you think this team just signed Ronaldo. Like I was just like really like if we really think about that, like sit down and think like they just signed Ronaldo. Like
Ronaldo. It's Cristiano.
But like they're not even the favorites. Like I still think I would take Liverpool.
I would take
Chelsea, City. And like they got better, but like they might go further down in this league table.
That's maybe that wasn't a hot take, but yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I've always thought like Mason Greenwood is scoring for them right now. He's gonna have to leave the field, and then Ronaldo's gonna have to score. Like Ronaldo's gonna have to score because if he doesn't, I don't see anybody else scoring because Mason Greenwood's doing it already.
They have so many like players. So many, like even Cavani came on today, right? Sancho, like we forget about that. Like I see what you mean, Justin. Like there'd be like buttons of heads or whatever. I mean, they even have Jesse Lingard, like he signed back too. Like he's not gonna play.
Philippe just literally has probably played 4 games. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, even say like I find it ridiculous how City like they don't even have an actual striker. I mean, maybe Ferran Torres, but like you wouldn't call any of their strikers players you'd fear as opposed to like like a Lukaku, Yeah, but they're still amazing, and it'd be all 5 million today. So I know about that, but like I don't know. What I will say is it's gonna be probably one of the craziest seasons that we've ever been alive for. I mean, like
I think
4 super teams.
Yeah.
I honestly think this season, like, I'm not going to lie, like, maybe, like, after we won the league, after Liverpool won the league, like, after that season, I was kind of like not watching soccer as much. Like it was just during that COVID time, and it just like I kind of like fell out of love. But like right now, I've been on top of every transfer. Like I'm gonna watch a lot of games. I know you watch a lot of games. I know you watch a lot of games, but I've been watching even like I love to see like Villa play right now. Just watching Leicester all the time. I'll watch every one of those games that come on. So like it's kind of bringing the love back.
I mean, it's funny like the way that these teams have shifted. It's almost kind of like an NBA-ish way. I mean, like Messi's at
Yeah,
PSG
yeah,
now, like it does make it a little more exciting to now like okay like who's going to be the next team, the Champions League groups and everything like, and then this year we have World Cup qualifying too. Like it's going to be a packed year, honestly.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are some great takes. And I guess I'll get it started with the little interview part. All right, Kendall, big in soccer, NC State. I want to just know like how did you get to where you are now? And I just want like a quick story about yourself, I guess. Like a quick introduction.
Okay. I don't know. Should I start from like when I was a kid? I guess.
Yeah,
Would you say?
whatever you like just like a quick little brief. Who's Kendall? Who is Kendall?
Okay. Who is Kendall? So I am. If you couldn't tell, I'm very much into sports. I started playing soccer when I was 4. And then I like grew up in Stone Mountain actually. Then moved to Lilburn, played with GSA. That's when I met guys like Justin, and guys like Chris. Especially when they were at AFU, we had our little rivalries and stuff like that. I went to Camp Creek, I went to Trickham, I went to Parkview only for a year, because I moved schools, and then I started with Atlanta United because Tony Annan recruited me there, and I changed schools to Rivers Academy, one of the weirdest but I think coolest school experiences I've ever had. We went to school 3 days a week for 4 hours, so we went to school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 8:10 to 12:30. And the whole school was just like it was for like athletes, for like actors, people who like miss school a lot for whatever reason. So it helped a lot, being in Atlanta, because we sometimes have trainings, we sometimes be traveling, et cetera, et cetera. So I played there from 2016 to 2019, committed to NC State, and I've been here since 2019. I'm a junior now, going into my 3rd season. So yeah, I mean we play tomorrow actually. We just played on Thursday. We won 2-0. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a ride. So that's my quick brief intro of myself.
Awesome, literally.
When you're talking about, so I'm just gonna go. We're going right back to the beginning. But when you're talking about when you started playing soccer at 4, so how did you like find that passion? Who kind of put you on to soccer in a way?
It was my dad. It really had to be my dad. He's also the reason I'm an Arsenal fan, unfortunately, I guess. But yeah, it was my dad. I mean, I remember he had bought me like FIFA. It was like FIFA 6, I think, when like Arsenal had like Thierry Henry and everyone, and that was like, I don't know, it was just big for me. And I've like a lot of people try other. I've never played any other sport. I've always played soccer. Soccer's the only sport I've played. Now I've grown to love like a lot of sports. Like I love basketball. I love football. I'm trying to get into baseball. The Braves have been pretty good for the past few years. So I'm trying to get, well, it's mainly just because of my major. I'm a communication media major, and with the stuff that I want to do, like I feel like I kind of have to be versed in everything. Just in case, you never know. So I want to be able to be versatile. But yeah, that's just really where that love came from. And I mean, I've been playing soccer ever since. It's the only sport I played. So yeah, really from my dad.
Yeah, I want to know kind of, when did you know? Because I know that you got to like that age where like you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm a little bit better than a lot of these guys. Because I remember whenever we were playing, like maybe whenever we were like 9, 10, and you weren't on like the teams that we were playing against at first, but then we played against you and we were like, who is this guy? And they're like, oh, he's coming up from the rec program right now. And I'm like, this dude is a problem. Like,
yeah. I did play rec. I played rec for a while. My dad, he always wanted, like, even with my little brother now, he's like, we weren't going to put you into the academy until we knew that you were serious about playing soccer.
That's great.
So, like, until like U11, which is, I guess, pretty old now I think about it for most people.
For like, because we started like whenever we were like 8, like all the rec.
Yeah, so I played rec soccer, recreational soccer until then. Now, I mean, it's kind of just wild, like, to have a team as good as we had.
Yeah.
To have so many different guys, like, so committed. I mean, if you look, I mean, like, guys like Liam. Liam scored on Thursday. Like, he's a really good player playing at Penn State. Really? We had guys like that. We had guys like Dylan, not Neil, who were both at Mercer. Like, we had a really, really good team full of guys who, like, really cared and were really, I mean, some of these guys you guys live in Swanee, right? Like, you guys have to drive like half an hour or more every single day just to come to practice. Because I will tell you this, my mom was not going to do that if it was the other way around. I was only going to play at GSA.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, I think I say good. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm never been that type of person.
Yeah, I know.
But like,
whenever I tell you, this man Kendall's the most humble person I've ever met too.
Thank you.
So like, that's why I just wanted to know if there was like ever like a clicking point, or it just like really just happened, and like I just smart on the ball.
I do. Okay, so I do think that when I was like, we won. Oh gosh, we were winning like state cups and stuff like that, and then, like, because for a while, right, you're only playing like a few teams in the state. You're playing like some of the same teams, UFA Concord. But then we started playing in the U.S. youth soccer like championships and stuff, and like now we're playing teams from other states, right, across the country, and then you like realize like, oh, like, we're actually like really good. Like, we're not just a local team. Like, we're a pretty good team. And then going to Atlanta United was a humbling experience. I'm not gonna lie, because you come from GSA and you think, like, this is it, right? And then you go there and you're not the best player on the team. You're not the best 1, 2, 3 player on the team. And it takes a lot of adjustment. Because I didn't start my first, I remember I didn't start for the first few games there at Atlanta United. And then being able just to progress there. The thing is that, like, being in those environments, there's always, like, you're just always having to get better. You're always having to, like, there's always just people who are, like, better at this than you, better at this than you. So, like, I mean, even though I still don't think that, like, definitely don't think I've arrived anywhere, or don't feel like I'm very grateful from where I'm at and understand what I can do and, what I need to get better at. But I just don't know if I can pinpoint a time.
Got you, yeah.
But I will say though that, like, I can recognize what I have done and what, like being at United, being at GSA, just even playing high school at Parkview, like, we had a really good team then too, No, yeah, I mean, I played high school soccer for a year and we won the state championship, in my first year, and like, it was just, that was crazy,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's always just a progression to get better. It's all, even, in school, so much stuff that I don't even know about with my major that I want to do and things like that. So it's always a learning experience, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I saw, like, playing with like guys like you, Dylan, everybody on that team, Thomas at Yale. It's just like, you see like the passion that like pretty much everybody had. Even like players like that maybe aren't at that level anymore. Like, even like me, I don't play right now, but like it made me like just want to work hard every day, just because like seeing you guys work really hard and you guys are getting better every day. And it's just like, it pushed me. Like, I think it pushed me to like get as good as I could get. And maybe I'm not at the level of other people, but like, I'm happy of what I did. So like, I loved it. I loved every second.
And then, yeah, I mean, even that with like, I mean, like you said, I was fortunate enough to now play at some of these levels with like, I mean, playing with pro players. I mean, training with pro players, like that's the other thing too. It's like, my limit may not be what their limit is, but like to be able to share space with them to be able to like, butt heads and see what, how do you get here? How do you get to this place? How do you think about the game? How do you see the game? What are the work ethics? What are the things that you do? I think it's really helped me grow. It's really helped me grow. And, we can't compare, everyone's different. Everyone's path is different, so like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, but like, I think having all the experiences, having, like you talk about yourself, like having you guys be there for us at GSA to push us to be like, you got to take this team as far as you can take it, right? And we're going to be there for you, backing you up, because trust me, there are a lot of academy teams and programs who maybe only had 2 or 3 guys who actually cared and, put in the work that we did. So yeah.
Awesome.
Garrett, speaking of, so going back to the Atlanta United transition, so when you were talking about how you first went to Atlanta United. So when you weren't playing, what was your mindset to get into that starting lineup?
Okay, well, it was really weird. So as you guys know, like for a while we had Georgia United and Concord. Those were the 2 academy teams from Georgia. And then all of a sudden, right, they announced Atlanta's going to get an MLS team. So it happened really quick, right? Because for me, I mean, if I'm honest, like the way my mindset was at 14, 15, like I wasn't going to leave GSA because that was the level, that was the best that we had then, right? Like there wasn't an academy here in Atlanta other than those 2 teams, but like I didn't really feel like I needed to be there because we had so many great players around us, right? And at that time, I actually was playing with the Jamaican national team, the youth national team. So during that summer when I was 2016 or 2015 summer, I was in Jamaica training with the national team and everything like that. So when I came back, it was me and Blake White was there. Yeah, Blake White was there. So when we came back, we weren't starting, which made sense because we weren't training with the team. We didn't do preseason with the team, right? And for me, it was really just because it was a new environment. It was a new coach. It was, some new players, you didn't know everyone as well as you did. And everyone was trying their best to, show who they were, right? A lot of the guys, fortunately, were at Georgia United. So they kind of had that background with the coach and he was able to know who they were. So my mindset at that time was just like, really just to every day, like show my dedication, show who I am, be demanding, be dominating. I was playing center back. I used to play striker. And when I started playing for Jamaica, that's when I transitioned to become a center back. So even then, it was also just learning like a new position,
Yeah.
And being comfortable with that, playing striker and center back, it's 2 different things, right? It's like, I mean, you go from being like, I guess a defensive back, right? Or sorry, you go from being like a wide receiver to becoming like a defensive back, right? Like I'm the one trying to score the goals. Now I'm trying to stop, people from doing that, right? And it's a different perspective on the field, seeing plays and whatever. So for me, it was really just that, like showing up every single day and trying to become consistent. I think that's the one thing that I will say that differentiates like players at the next level. And not just from the academy standpoint, from like pro standpoint, even here in like college, like what's important is that like being able to be consistent every single day. And you're going to have bad days, obviously, but like your bad days can't be, all-time lows and your best days can't be all-time highs. You want to be able to just be consistent every day because that's what's going to get you in the starting line. That's what's going to get you on the field. That's what's going to get you better. Being able to be consistent every single day. And that's really important to them. I mean, my coach talks about that all the time. It's about consistency. So that was my thing. Like, you're in academy sometimes, you just, you can have a bad practice, whatever, and you'll still start, right? When I was at GSA, but like, here at Atlanta United, we had, they had 30 guys who were recruited here, taken from others, some guys from other states, some guys from all across the state. If you're not playing well, then you're going to get replaced, So that was really just learning that, being consistent, being demand and dominant of myself too. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And like you talked about how you were training with professional players. I just kind of want to know like how that experience was, like, or those experiences, you've done it a lot more than maybe the viewers know. So
Well, yeah, soccer's soccer's very different than, like, I always tell people, like, it's very different than, like, our traditional American sports. Because, like, for example, right, if you played football, you go play high school football, you go play college, then you go pro, right? Like, you're not really, there's no, like, in soccer we have academies, right? So, like, you can be 16, 15, whatever, and be playing and training with pro players, who are 34 and have kids and stuff like that, right? So for me, I mean, I went to the first ever Atlanta United preseason when I was 15 at the time, which is, even just thinking about it now, I'm 20 now. It's crazy. I was the youngest guy there. It was me, Charlie Asensio, who's at Clemson, Dylan Gaither, who's at Mercer, James Brighton, who's at Clemson, Lagos Kunga was there. I don't want to forget anyone. Oh gosh. I think Will Crane was there too. He's at Brown. I hope I didn't forget anyone, but it was a group of us, right? And when we were either 15 or 16 at that time, and that was when we had Miguel Almiron, Joseph Martinez, who's still here, like guys like that. Tata was there. It was an experience. I'll say that for the least. We went to IMG. I'll never forget that. And at first, you get, you have to get past being, I guess, like almost starstruck, really, right? Like, like I'm, training with these guys and stuff like that. I remember Carlos Bocanegra, our technical director, he came and spoke to us and just told us, like, just be you. You're here for a reason, right? Which is, it's easy to say that, but until you start playing with these guys, But like, that's also what I'm saying. Like, that's where you kind of just learn that, like, the importance of just consistency every single day. Like, you realize how good these guys are, first of all. Even the guys, who we see on TV and think, oh, this guy's terrible. Like, these guys are very good at soccer, or very good at whatever sport they play. Even if it's football, basketball, like, even, Markieff Morris is a very good basketball player.
But like, like a very good Jim Hooper buckets. Like, it's bad. So
no, for sure. And then what I do think the great thing about integrating young players, like, even look at George Bello, like, once you start training with those guys every single day for a while, you become more comfortable at that level, obviously, right? You learn things and whatever from everyone else. But, like, I think that's just the most, like, being comfortable, because, like, when you're playing with your, people your age, you're not nervous, right? For the most part, you're not going to be nervous because everyone's, you'd say you're equal, right? So you feel comfortable, you feel more confident to do certain things, but then once you start being put up to another level, then you're like, okay, I got to make sure that, in your mind, you want to impress. So, you want to make sure everything is good. You don't want to do anything stupid or do anything blah, 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 right? You want to just be good. And that can also, that nervousness can be really good for you. Nervousness can be bad for you, depending on how you may perform. But once you do that every day, you become more comfortable, right? And then when you're more comfortable, you can be more confident and then believe in yourself and really play your game. So we were there for 2 weeks in Florida. And I will say, like, my first week, I was nervous every practice. We did 2 a day. I was, because you want to do well and you realize the opportunity that you have, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, like I said, like, after a week or so, you just become comfortable and you're like, you feel like you do belong, right? And, I think that was a great experience for where I am today. Learning what I've been able to learn. I know I still have so much more to do. I mean, like I said, you look at guys like Bello, look at how quickly he's progressed, and he's always been a great player,
Yeah, since we were.
And now, I mean, when you get to play on some of these big stages, like, like I said, like, the first few times you become nervous, but, like, now, if Pogba playing in front of 80,000 people is nothing to Pogba, right? You become more comfortable, more confident in those situations, and you believe in yourself. I mean, Bello was playing in a Gold Cup final, right, a few months ago, right? Yeah. For his country, playing in probably the biggest game of his life, and those experiences matter, and they mean a lot. So I know that's, a little far-fetched from me just training with people, but, like, I think a lot of it's similar, just being able to be in an environment where you can feel comfortable and feel good about yourself. So that was really what was most important for me. And even now, I mean, I was able to making my USL pro debut.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, a year or two later after that. And even that, I mean, like, I was extremely nervous for that first game, but then it just becomes more comfortable. And then you're like, okay, I can play here. I can be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then now being here in school, we'll see how things progress. But like, no, I mean, I think Atlanta United was probably one of the best decisions I've made for myself in terms of my growth, just in life too, man. Like they had great programs. Like, I mean, just to teach you how to grow up really, because I mean, remember we did like a cooking class one time, and now I'm here. I mean, I live alone now, actually. I live in a studio apartment here at State, and I love to cook now, and that stuff's important. Like, it's important to be able to be self-sufficient and things like that. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Speaking of, you were talking about playing for Jamaica. Have you been able to go back and play for Jamaica due to like COVID or anything? Like,
so I played with them for I think like it was like a 2-year cycle it was the walk-up qualifying cycle for U17. And I will say it was a great experience. Just because, like, I mean, your perspective of the world changes so much also. In terms of like, I come from this country, and then you're playing with these guys who have so much less than you, but not like yes in value, but like their life perspective is so different than yours. What's important to them is so different than what's important to you, right? And it changes the way you see things. And I think that humbled me too. Being able to do that. I mean, there'd be times where like I really sit there and like, wow, I'm like thousands of miles away in Jamaica, right? Like, you're not around your family and your friends. You're in a training camp, right, with guys you just met and stuff like that, right? And then, you change, what you value or what you see as important, right? Because these guys are fighting for their lives, not, fighting for their lives, right? But like playing for their lives, this is the most important thing to them.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I could have been like, well, okay, if this doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, because I go home and I'm in a private school. I got, this great home, this great environment around me, whatever. I can guarantee that I will go to a college, whether it's wherever it might be, right? Where that might not have been the case for everyone else. And in terms of like progressing with them, after that cycle, I was called up to a couple US camps. And I mean, I can't predict the future. I don't want to say anything like fine or terminal, but like, I mean, ultimately, I would love to play for the U.S. So, I've kind of shied away from doing that with Jamaica, but being at those camps kind of showed me like, okay, like this is, I think I prefer this, but like, who knows in the future, like maybe, you see guys all the time, some changing, who they're playing with. But yeah, I mean, I still have a Jamaican passport, so it's still a possibility. But I think for me right now, it would be, my allegiance would be for the US. So yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of like piggyback off that, I kind of want to know like what your goals are, like not only with soccer, like because you're a really smart guy. You've been talking about your communications degree and I know your parents big on school.
Yeah, it's very big.
You're very well put together. So I just kind of want to know, like, I know you do have the ability. If there's a few guys that I know, they have the ability to go pro. You're one of them. So I just kind of want to know, like, are you going to try to like do both at the same time type of deal? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously, the goal team goes to pro. Yeah, we all want to go pro. Yeah, I obviously want to go pro. I mean, that's what I wanted. I mean, this past summer, I actually was able to train at Atlanta United. They do this thing where like they'll invite, because once we leave the academy, obviously they still have our contacts and stuff like that. So over the summer, they'll invite us to come back and train with the first team every now and then, and mainly the USL team. Yeah. So I did that this past summer, which I enjoyed it. It's a great way to stay sharp, and then also see where am I at compared to the guys that I want to be playing with or against, hopefully after college, right? So obviously that's the ultimate goal. And I'd love to come home to play for Atlanta. That'd be great for me. But then in terms of school, like you said, I do enjoy what I do here. I'm a communication media major, which is a very vague thing, which I will say, because like it's not like just social media. It's not just like communicating. I mean, it could be stuff like TV production, digital production, audio production, even what you guys do with like the podcast, stuff like that. Like that falls under communication media. Last year I really wanted to get an internship, but I couldn't because of COVID and everything. But this spring I'm gonna get an internship. I don't know exactly what it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be good for me to just see what I like, what I'm good at. I love to do anything inside of sports, obviously, whether that's video production of sports, TV production of sports. I don't know. I'm open to a lot, but
Awesome.
ultimately, like I definitely want to do something that has to do with sports. If it's not going pro, of course, but like that's you're right. I mean, school is very important to me, and like I never like sit here and think to myself, man, like could I have done this better, or like could I be here right now? Not like I think my path has been perfect for me because it showed me what I enjoy, what I love, and being able even just to change, scenery, live in a new state. I've been here, like I said, for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's made me appreciate, especially home, a lot more. I love coming home. I love Atlanta. But like you just meet new people, like get new experiences, get new perspectives on life. Seeing new people, I think it's really important. And so I don't. It's not maybe not a finite answer, but like I'll let you know later. I guess maybe I come back on.
Yeah. You can get another episode for sure.
Yeah, guaranteed. But we're kind of getting off interview, but who would you say that your role models are, or role models? Sorry.
It's a tough one. Okay. I definitely will say my dad is a big role model for me. What he's been able to do for me, instill in me. I mean, my parents, just in general, I think I can't say I've done what I've been able to do or live the way I live, even though I don't have my bed made right now. But I can't say I haven't been able to do stuff like that without them and their teaching and how they've led me. So it's gotta be them. And then for like, I guess more famous people, gosh, this is a hard one. Oh my goodness. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's hard, yeah. It's
like I have people, but like,
yeah.
I don't know.
What I'll ask is maybe not as like a role model question type. I'm gonna ask more like in like soccer, like did you have like a player that you kind of like watched that kind of like you kind of like model your game after, or a player that like you're like, okay, I want to be like this?
Yeah. So one thing one of my old coaches always told me, Roddy, he coaches at Atlanta United. He's actually the assistant coach at Austin FC now. He compared me. I don't know if you know this guy, but he's Costa Rican center. He compared me to Kendall Watson. Now that's not someone. That's not someone who I would look up to. I all my game after. But he had told me that like, just this is the general thing about play. Like, what you have as strengths, like you have to just take that and excel at it. Like, your gifts, whatever that may be. Like, you have to use that and take that to another level and excel at that. So ever since he told me that, I kind of stopped, because I used to be like, I'm an Arsenal fan. So like when I was a kid, like William Gallas, guys like that, Lauren Koscielny, I guess. I always want Arsenal to have like a really, really good center back that I could like tell I look up to, right? Like a Sol Campbell, right? But like ever since he told me that, I was like, man, like I kind of stopped not looking, because I obviously you see players like, you're like, wow, I love the way he plays. I wish I want to play like that. But like, I kind of stopped being like, oh, I want to be him, or I want to model myself after him, because he told me that. I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, like just be the best version of yourself. Maybe that's cliche, but like,
yeah.
I think it's a great way to look at it, because like, what my talents are, or what they have been, has gotten me this far, right? So why not just continue to move off of that? But I mean, obviously, who doesn't love? I love Sergio Ramos. I love guys like Diego Godin, center backs like that. Like, players I grew up watching. I like MTT. I like Kimpembe. Kimpembe. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mixed Kimbo. Yeah. But and the other guy, like, I just like watching, right? But like, I wouldn't say like I model myself after them just because of what I mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I feel like all these players that are at that level, it's because they do their own thing. Like, you can't just want to be somebody else, because you're not going to be him. So yeah, you got to do what you can do at the highest level. That's what I think. Yeah.
So I guess we're just gonna get off the interview part, and I'm just gonna start asking you just rapid fire questions. But like right now, your top 5 favorite artists right now. Like it doesn't like have to be. It literally can just be anyone. Like it could be someone has top since 2014. Like it can be anyone.
I have to say Drake. I've always felt that way. I used to be like one of those Drake fans who were like crazy. Like I'm not like that anymore. And people still think, I guess, that like I'm not that way anymore.
Remember,
he was really like the first artist I like really started listening to music with. So that's really why I felt like that. And then apparently we're supposed to get the album on Friday. I don't know if you guys saw that stuff.
Yeah.
On Twitter and ESPN and stuff like that. So what a great week that would be, right? I talked about Baby Keem. I really, 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 really enjoy Baby Keem. I can't not say R&B. I love R&B. I love SZA. SZA's amazing. She's not as underground, I guess, or is new anymore. If everyone knows about her now, I have to say her. I feel restricted doing 5, but I'll do 5. It's gotta be Gunna. I love Gunna. I think Gunna is amazing. I heard your argument, or your hot take on I think it was Liam's pod.
Yeah.
Where he was asking who makes better music or who's better. I do have an opinion on that.
Okay.
I think Gunna makes better hits in terms of like, if you want to hit like a hit single, I think Gunna makes better hits. But I do think Baby has better rap skills, better lyrics. I just think if you need someone to spit on a
like lyricism
on a song, I think Baby's better at that.
Oh yeah,
I just think Gunna is a better hit maker.
Yeah, for me, that's my thing. I think Baby might be the better rapper, but I think Gunna is, in my opinion, he just makes me enjoy music more a little bit.
Yeah, he
enjoy the music more.
He can make a hit. Like he can make a hit. But I don't think Gunna could rap about some of the stuff that Baby raps about. Like I don't think Gunna would get the respect of J. Cole to be on his album the way like Baby will. Like I don't think. So I gotta go. Oh gosh, 5. I have a vinyl wall I'm looking at right now. Some of my favorite albums. Goodness, 5. Okay, that's 3, right?
You can go a little bit more. We'll give you like.
I mean, Future like has to be.
Future
has to be there. Young Thug too. That's 5. But like those guys, I mean, like for us, just being for like what those guys have done for our city and like for music is just ridiculous. And like I love Kanye too, but like the reason I'm not saying guys like that and like JC guys like that is just because like obviously we grew up listening to them in a way, but like I didn't grow up like listen to their album drops like being in their era. So that's why I choose those 5 as opposed to like obviously we have guys like Kanye who are greats and Jay-Z who are greats, but those 5 for me are just when we're 40 we'll be talking about those guys, I think, personally.
Awesome. You said that you love to cook now, so I kind of want to know like what are like your favorite types of meals that you're making right now?
So one of the things I love to make always is wings. I think wings are my favorite food. I don't think like I love making wings. Actually, I need to get an air fryer. I moved into my new apartment. I need to get an air fryer. I love making wings. I make a lot of pasta just because like athlete stuff, but like what I'll do is just make a bunch of pasta and then stash it away and then eat it throughout the week, whatever. But really I'm just really like into just trying new things because I really like seriously started cooking last year. So like really I'm right now just like trying new things, always just like trying anything. I want to try more fishes. Salmon's the only one I do right now. It's just salmon's pretty easy, I think. But like I want to try more stuff. The thing is, like, kitchen appliances are really expensive. When your parents have them, like, you don't realize, but like when you gotta buy them yourself, like I'm having to do right now, that stuff is very expensive. So I'm being very simple right now. But like I will say my favorite thing to make is wings.
Awesome. Do you plan on like maybe like in the future, like you said you love to cook, so like in the future you think you're gonna like expand in the kitchen a little bit, just start making some like elaborate dishes, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like the stuff, like I used to watch like the cooking channel like all the time.
Me too.
And then like Ratatouille is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. So I like I said, I really want to do like a lot more stuff. It's just like I said, like it's when you're buying it, it's expensive. So like but like this past winter, I made a seafood fried rice. Like it was something I'd never done before. I got like scallops, I got shrimps, just stuff like that. Like, just trying things like that. Like I really want to make like a really, really good mac and cheese, like one that I would be comfortable enough to take to like a Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's like I want to do that type of stuff. Like take it to that level. I want to do like full like rotisserie chickens, but like I said, like I don't have like stuff for that right now. But like that, I want to progress to being like real like stuff you would make for a family. Like
awesome, yeah, that's nice.
No, I agree with that. I remember when I was growing up, I just hated not being able to cook, so I just forced myself to learn. Like I had to. I went to like a cooking camp for like a week, so I could learn how to cook, because I was tired of eating like waffles and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was really just like it's a good escape for me. I think just like whenever we have off days, I usually just cook on the weekends, because throughout the week I'll just do the dine hall, and then like we'll get fed by the team. But like on weekends, I'll just experiment with stuff.
That's nice.
But it really is just YouTube, and then like it's okay to fail. Like I failed many times, and the good thing is it's better to fail when you're the only one eating as opposed to when you're cooking for other people. So
yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have a pre-game ritual?
Okay.
Or like a song?
I don't. Yeah. Okay. So I don't really have a pre-game ritual. I don't really. Not really. Just how I am. I'm not much of a rah type of guy in the first place. But one thing maybe this is a hot take too. I don't think, like, for me, I don't need to listen to like hype music to get myself like in a good mood or a hype mood. For me, it's like whatever mood I feel. Like I mean, I think one of my best games I played last year, I was listening to like Erykah Badu in my pregame.
Really?
Like that was just like, for me, it's just like I wake up and what's my mood, or like what am I listening to right now that like I'm really enjoying, and that's just how it is for me. Like, so a ritual, not really. Now I do like to like eat certain things. Like there's some things like I won't eat or whatever, but like ritual, I wouldn't say a ritual. Like, that's something I guess maybe that's different than other people. Like I don't really think I need to listen to like really, really aggressive music or hype music, to get myself in a hype mood for a game.
Interesting. I was definitely the opposite. I would like have to listen to something that just got me going.
Well, I'm on the aux for the team. So I do have to play like it's like I will sometimes just play stuff that I know like people want to hear in the locker room. But like say we're on the bus ride over or whatever, or like when I'm walking to the locker room, I'll listen to like I'll calm myself down. It's just how I am, and then I can acknowledge that people want to hear a certain thing. But
Awesome. Do you have like a comfort show or a movie that you watch?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm not really into movies, but I love YouTube. I'm big on. I think it's just like a generation thing. Like we love Twitch, we love YouTube. I don't know. That's just me. So I watched this guy Your Rage. Maybe you heard of Your Rage.
I love Your Rage. YRG, man.
Yeah, YRG. I love watching it. He's hilarious. Yeah, I love that like reaction community too. Flight is hilarious.
Yeah.
Aiden Ross, guys like that. Yeah, I like that stuff way more than I don't really watch TV. Other than sports, I don't really watch TV like that. But yeah, that's mainly what I watch.
I think like Chris loves Twitch as well. He's trying to get into it. I watch Twitch all the time. So
oh yeah, no, and that's why I love about streams is that like I can just like put a stream on,
yeah,
do
just
homework,
throughout
put a stream on, yeah, and then you have like I don't know, I eat food like you put a stream on, like whatever. So yeah, I really
I love Twitch. Twitch is like the coolest thing that they've like created, especially for like people like learning. Like when I was in code, like I never heard of like Flight and stuff because I wasn't like that really into like basketball. Like I'm watching FIFA videos and stuff on YouTube. Then COVID hit and I'm bored. I'm over here looking. I find Flight and I'm stuck. I literally was stuck forever.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's when I started watching Rage too. It was during like that 2020 summer when nothing was going on. Like, I mean, even the two hype guys, like all those guys, RUC, I think they're doing a lot more stuff with like Twitch too now. Like, stream. I mean, everyone streams now. Like B-Lou and all those guys, like Zeus, they all stream now, right? But like, and I love how they're all connected, right? So like, even if I don't watch every Zeus, I know who he is, and like sometimes those guys will, interact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of stuff I love watching right now. Other than sports, of course.
Awesome. And then I guess we have one more question, and it is: are you an Xbox or PS4 guy?
Okay. You guys are not gonna like this answer. So I wasn't. So we used to play Xbox. And then it was Dylan Shevsky who switched to PS4. So we all switched it because we would all play FIFA. We all play Pro Clubs, Ultimate Team, whatever. But you guys aren't gonna like this. But I don't play video games anymore. And it's not. I literally just don't have time. Like I don't have time. A and B. Like, I mean, the guys I play with, like, they don't have time either. Cause like it's just not fun for me anymore to play alone. Cause I mean, I play career mode and like Madden and stuff like that, like for hours alone. But like playing alone is just not fun for me anymore. So like if my friends want to play Pro Clubs, I'll play Pro Clubs or play Call of Duty or whatever. When Fortnite was big Fortnite, but like I can't just play alone anymore. So I'm trying to sell my PS4, and then I will. I think I want to buy a PS5, but right now, bro, the prices on that stuff.
It's like that kind of happened with me. I had like that little where like I didn't touch my PlayStation for like a year and a half, 2 years. It was I didn't really have fun on it anymore. So it was
really after that quarantine summer, that COVID summer 2020. Like we played COD every single night, like every single night. But then like once I went back to school, I just didn't play as much anymore. And then I was like,
don't have time for it.
Yeah, you just don't. I mean, like for example, like tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to the library. I got 2 classes tomorrow. Then I have a pregame meal. Then we have our game, and then I'll be home by like 9 o'clock, right? Like and you just don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time to play video games, and then throughout the week, class practice, travel, right? So like you just don't have time, and then I mean, you guys are like, you can do so much other things, with your friends at school and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I get the good thing about like the PS5 though too is like it can be like my YouTube, Netflix hub too. So like, and then if guys want to play video games, maybe we make a Pro Clubs comeback.
Make a little comeback, man.
But yeah, no, I'm a PS4 guy. I will say that, a PlayStation Sony guy, but I don't play video games right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Actually, there's one thing. I just want to say, like, Arsenal fan, I just kind of want to, like, get on. I just want to know, like, what are your hopes for this season, and, like, what do you really think is going to happen this season?
Okay. So, I'm very much a realist. I'm not like Arsenal fan TV. I used to be like those guys, but I'm not. The thing is that like we're in such a. It's funny, right? How we always wanted Wenger out, and we were so against the 4th place mediocrity and But now, like I would pay money to see Arsenal be a 4th place team now, right? The problem is, I think after that whole Ozil saga, like our financial situation, we weren't spending money well, right? I love Aubameyang, but I think his signing shows where our club is at because he's a good player. but he's not a great player. He's not a player that is going to take us over the edge.
Marquee.
You know? Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, we're not going to attract players like that anymore. We just aren't. And if we do, they're going to be like in their 30s. We're not getting Erling Haaland. You know, we're not getting guys like that, a Sancho. Because why would they come here when they can go to a City, a Chelsea, a Man U, right? A Liverpool. So because of that, I actually think Arsenal needs to kind of like completely buy into like the young players and focus on the academy, focus on getting guys under 25, things like that, because we need to grow within ourselves. Because like, no, we're not going to be able to buy Ronaldo, right? We're not going to be able to purchase Mbappe. We're just not. So I know that's going to take a lot of time because it's not easy. It's going to take a lot of time. It's not easy. And when you've got teams like City and Chelsea and Liverpool who have teams that are miles ahead of us, it's going to like, there's going to be days like yesterday where it's like, wow, like, this is terrible, right? So it obviously still hurts. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say like it hurts because you don't have that same enthusiasm to watch their games anymore. But I'm not against what they're doing in terms of like putting so much emphasis on Smith Rowe and Saka and guys like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think firing Arteta will do anything because I don't think it's a manager thing. I just think our squad isn't good. It's just not a good team. So we get a Pep Guardiola. Like, I don't think it would matter. Yeah, there's just not a good team. And I mean, unfortunately, I think Arteta will be fired this year just because like we're not going to be good. But like, I don't think that's going to be the solution. I think it's going to take a while for Arsenal to become good again. So yeah, that's how I feel. Because I mean, I will say, like, look at Liverpool.
Yeah,
guys like Trent, guys like Andy Robertson, right? They weren't bought as good as they were, right? They were brought up, right? Look at Jordan Henderson, right? He's been there for a very long time. Guys like that. Even when Salah was brought back, Mane, when they were brought back, they weren't what they are now.
Yeah.
But like, they grew in the system, and now, I mean, they're world-class players, right? And then once you get to that level, right, then you can buy a Van Dijk for 65 million, and that completes your squad, right? And then we can go further, right?
You just have to do it
we're just gonna have to do it the long way.
Like the organic way, you just got to build it up.
We're gonna have to keep Saka and guys like that, grow them, and hopefully they'll turn into good players. And then, one summer we need to get whether that's a striker or a center back, or we can use anything at this moment. But like that one guy, and hopefully grow from there. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So we'll see.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
that it?
I think that's it.
That's it, everyone. But just want to thank Kendall for coming on again for this episode. Very good episode. Justin for being on for his first one. And that's pretty much a wrap on it. But thank you for coming on again, Kendall.
No, of course. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.